And that was Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley this week on the Senate tradition of blue split. After President Trump posted earlier remarks about Grassley denouncing attempts to block presidential nominations for ideological and political reasons. On Friday, the president posted on Truth Social comments Grassley made back in 2017 about not allowing home state senators to abuse the blue slip process. It came after a federal judge in Pennsylvania ruled that acting U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, Alina Habba, is unlawfully serving after President Trump and AG Pam Bondi extended her tenure by naming her acting U.S. Attorney rather than interim to fill the vacancy.
Y'all see what's happening out here, right? Trump back in that big chair as 47th, talking all that law and order talk, but notice how the wheels seem to be spinning in the mud. He's out here trying to clean house, talking about bringing real heat to folks who've been acting up, like that whole mess with Don Lemon storming into that church in Minnesota with them protesters. Folks are literally screaming for indictments, waiting for the DOJ to swoop in and handle business like they said they would.
Good. Renee, good. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
But here's the kicker. Trump is looking at his toolbox and find they empty in all places he needs it, especially where he needs it the most. He can't move on the big cases in New York, stuck in the mud in California, and Virginia is looking like a no-fly zone. You gotta ask yourself, why is the most powerful man in the world looking like his hands are tied behind his back? It ain't just the deep state boogeyman this time, people. It's a little piece of paper, something they call a blue slip, and it's doing more damage to MAGA agenda than any protest or headline could ever do. While we're out here waiting for justice on the streets, there's a quiet war happening in the Senate. And a legendary Republican named Chuck Grassley, I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with him, well, he's holding the line on the tradition that's keeping Trump's real hitters off the field. So stick with me, because I'm gonna break down exactly what this blue slip is, and why it's the secret weapon the left is using to make sure Trump stays president in name only when it comes to the courts.
Last night, I was surprised to see President Trump on Truth Social go after me and Senate Republicans over what we call the blue slip. Now, to people in the real America, not here in this Washington, D.C. and island surrounded by reality, the people in real America don't care about what the blue slip is, but in fact, it impacts in their states the district judges who serve their communities and the U.S. attorneys who ensure the law and order is enforced. I was offended by what the president said, and I'm disappointed that it would result in personal insults. Now, we're here to do business. That's a very important part of this committee's work, to do our constitutional duties of reviewing people that require Senate confirmation.
Let me pause and break down what you're ready to learn here. What we're ready to get into right now is the blue slip weapon, and our 100-year-old tradition, a Senate tradition at that, is the primary reason why Trump judges are currently being blocked by blue slip tactics in those blue states. And then we gotta jump into the case files and why legal missions against James Comey and Letitia James were thrown out, and how these Trump judges were effectively sidelined by this woke political takedown. And from there, we're gonna get into the Republican rift. And is it really a showdown between Chuck Grassley and John Kennedy over whether to kill the tradition or let the MAGA conservative agenda stay blocked? And finally, we're gonna look at the funding squeeze and the truth behind the $10 billion federal freeze, and why this MAGA conservative woke political takedown trap is heading straight to the Supreme Court. I'm about to show you how specific people, names you know, are getting legally sidelined because this one rule. I'm talking about the real reason why the Drain the Swamp mission is hitting a brick wall, especially in the states that matter the most. This info is life or death for the movement, so make sure you stay to the end. This one ain't gonna be a long one, but you're definitely gonna see why you really need to stay. So now it's time for us to dive deeper into the situation. I call it the blue slip sabotage. Check this out and stay with me. A blue slip is not just some random scrap of paper. Imagine a literal light blue form, like a permission slip that your mom used to sign for you to go on a field trip. But only in this case, it's sent out by the Senate Judiciary Committee. When President Trump wants to pick a U.S. attorney or a district judge in a state, the committee chairman sends one of these slips, these blue slips, to the 2 senators of that state. Now, if those senators don't sign it and send it back, the nomination is dead. No hearing, no vote, no nothing. Think about Alina Habba. Trump wanted her to be the U.S. attorney for New Jersey. He wanted her in there to finally clean up the lawfare mess. She even started the job in an acting capacity, but the courts just kicked her out, saying she was not properly confirmed. And why was she not? Because New Jersey has 2 Democrat senators who just sat on the blue slip. They didn't even have to argue. They just ghosted the paperwork. And then you have Lindsay Halligan in Virginia. She went in there and actually secured indictments against James Comey and Letitia James, but a judge tossed the whole thing out. Why? Because the judge ruled she was unlawfully appointed since the Virginia senators used that blue slip to block her permanent seat.
Alina Habba says she's stepping down as U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey after the courts disqualified her. Do you have any comment on that?
She's not disqualified. You've got a blue slip thing that's horrible. It's a horrible thing. It makes it impossible to appoint a judge or a U.S. attorney, and it's a shame. And the Republicans should be ashamed of themselves that they allow this to go on, because I can't appoint a U.S. attorney that's not a Democrat, because they put a block on it. So if you appoint in Virginia or in New Jersey or in California a U.S. attorney or a judge, I mean, a judge situation is ridiculous. The only people that you can get by are Democrats, because they will put a hold on it. If I put up George Washington and Abraham Lincoln to be U.S. attorney in New Jersey or to be U.S. attorney in Virginia, we have Democrat senators, they will not approve them. And this is a gentleman's agreement that's lasted for too long, and it doesn't make it, especially in light of what's going on today. It means you can't appoint a Republican U.S. attorney, and we don't play the same game with them, but they do.
And this is how it hurts us, y'all. Stick with me. Because without a Senate-confirmed U.S. attorney, Trump's people are being called pretenders and shadow prosecutors by liberal judges. In New York, it's the same old story. Trump wants to put someone in to oversee the Southern District, the ones who have been coming after him, but old Chucky Schumer is holding that blue slip like a royal scepter. Trump is trying to charge the people he says weaponize the government against him, but he can't even get his foot in the courtroom door because the gatekeepers will not sign a piece of blue paper. Do you see how the blue slip is a strategic instrument? It's a blockade that is keeping 75% of Trump's legal team on the bench while the other side keeps playing offense. And now, this brings us to the Republican Civil War. Grassley versus Kennedy. This is where it gets real juicy, folks. You'd think the Republicans would just kill this rule and let Trump cook, right? But Chuck Grassley is playing the long game. On the pro side, he says keeping the blue slip protects the Senate powers against the White House. He's worried that if he scraps it now, then the Democrats will use the same power to ram through radical woke judges in red states the next time they win. So I guess he sees it as a shield for the future, ensuring that the people of the state actually has a say in who prosecutes them. Now comes John Kennedy chiming in.
Both Democratic presidents and Republican presidents have asked us to get rid of it. We never have, and I hope we never will.
Now, we all love Kennedy for his wit and his legendary "call your mama" quotes, but on this one, he's standing right next to Grassley. Kennedy is out there saying he hopes the blue slip tradition never goes away. He argues that the senators know their own home state better than some bureaucrat in D.C., and he wants to keep that senatorial courtesy alive. But here's the con side that folks like Charlie Kirk and Matt Morris are screaming about.
We respect Chuck Grassley. Look, he's a great
92.
American. What?
92.
92. But we are playing in a whole different reality than what Chuck Grassley's probably, his memory, the world that formed him is long gone.
The world has changed. The left has gotten incredibly aggressive and expansive about what they would like to do. The bare minimum we can do is allow the person America elected to stop this, to have his dudes
and by the way,
the admin.
JD said this. He said we cannot keep electing politicians that are promising policies on immigration, for example, and then saying that the judges are just going to overturn this. You cannot do that over and over again without the people eventually becoming quite radicalized. What the people want, the people get. When the people elect people like President Trump and JD Vance to fix our border issues, to fix our immigration issues, or whatever, law and order, and then constantly this is getting sidetracked because we can't get appointees through or whatever because of a blue slip antiquated process, which is supposed to be gentlemanly and collegial within the U.S. Senate. When they are weaponizing old traditions where there's no rule, there's no constitutional order,
there's no amendment
mandate,
that says
there's no
blue
policy.
slips exist.
It's literally just a tradition, and that is getting in the way. Why this is so important, and we're just talking with the chapter president of UVU, and I'm thinking about Charlie right now. Charlie left it all out on the field, literally and physically, and in every conceivable way, to get President Trump elected, to get majorities in the House and in the Senate. We have that. We have what we worked so hard for. And for that to get then sidetracked and postponed, delayed, or completely blocked because we run out of time is an insult to everything that we did the lead up to 2024. And it's an insult to Charlie Kirk.
And it's self-defeating. If we lose next year, one of the biggest factors will be didn't confirm enough people, didn't get enough things done, didn't fulfill enough of the promises.
Absolutely unacceptable that this is still getting in the way. Abolish the blue slip. It's time.
While Grassley and Kennedy worry about the tradition and what happens 4 years from now, Trump is getting his agenda shredded today. Because Grassley and Kennedy are playing by gentleman rules, while the other side is out there in the street fight. Trump is fuming. He was even calling a hot mic recently, venting about why he can't even appoint anyone because of these scam rules.
There's a hot mic moment that is going around, and it's making waves on social media. Let's go ahead and play it from President Trump. Hot mic 185.
You know I cannot appoint anybody. Huh? I can't appoint anybody. Everybody I've appointed, their time is expired. And then they're in default.
So if you couldn't hear what he said, he says, you know I can't appoint anybody. Everybody I've appointed, their time is expired, then they're in default, then we're losing.
And I hope that somebody speaks to Senator Grassley about doing something about the blue slip, because I'm telling you, John, I put up great people, top people, highest education, the best lawyers to be like U.S. attorney, and both senators. It only takes one, but if they're Democrat senators, they say we're not going to approve it. I had a couple of them say, "Why don't you appoint Democrats?" All because Senator Grassley, with his blue slip stuff, will not let anybody go by. By the way, the Democrats have violated the blue slip provision on numerous occasions, but we don't do it. And what it means is, I guess I just have to keep appointing people for 3 months and then just appoint another one. And it's a very sad situation. We're losing a lot of great people. We have about 7 U.S. attorneys who are not going to be able to keep their jobs much longer because of the blue slip. Because unless, I think I know why they did that, to protect their ass. Okay, that's why they did that. But it should be done away with. I want to be able to appoint the most highly educated, the most respected people. They can't keep their jobs because of the blue slips. Terrible.
He's looking at Grassley and Kennedy like they're helping the Democrats keep the gate closed. And if they don't cave and scrap the blue slip, the drain the swamp plan is going to look more like a slow leak. Thanks for watching to the end, but click one of them buttons on top so you can stay informed, and make sure you hit that notification bell. Select all when you do so. And that way, when I release my next YouTube, you'll be the first to know.